Hey everyone, this week we're going to take you through some extra movements that are going to be in the next phase of your programming. Most of you have just finished your initial 2 weeks where we've taken you through just some preparatory movements and getting you ready for what's to come. So some of these barbell movements that I'm going to take you through in this particular video will pretty well make up the large portion of your programming for the rest of your programming. So for this, the next 10 weeks, once we get through, you get through your first initial 12 weeks, it's going to depend on where you're at as an individual. With these movements, super important that if you can, you get film of yourself doing these movements and send it through to your coach so we can make sure that you are doing it properly. Okay. With this, we're looking to add weight to the movements that you are doing each week. If you are losing position and posture, so you are not using good form, we need to reset you and we need to take those weights back to a point where you are able to maintain that good position and posture. So for most of you that are on this program, you're going to be doing it via remote coaching, so it is so important that you send us through some video so we can double check that you are doing it properly and you are going to progress the right way, and most importantly be able to stay training for the remainder of this particular program. So movements I'm going to take you through today: back squat, press, and I'm also going to take you through a step up. While a step up is pretty straightforward, there is a particular way I would like to see our athletes and the people in our remote coaching do it. So that's why I've done this specific video to show you how we would like you to do it. So for the most part, a back squat and a press, the majority of you are going to know how to do that. The basis of the squat stays exactly the same as what we've gone through in the last video. The difference is the implement that we're using is going to be a barbell rather than a dumbbell. So some basic barbell etiquette or basic rack etiquette before we start. Okay, I prefer people to be facing into the rack, put the weight on your back the weight out, and then once you've done your weight, put it back in rather than going the other way around. So hands nice and tight around the bar. Put the head underneath the bar. Have that bar sitting at the base of your trap, stopping your shoulders. Okay. Preferably, I don't want you doing a low bar back squat, especially if you're a beginner. Generally, everybody that's going to be on this program will be a beginner. So from there, it really stays the same. We're just going to position our feet just outside our hips. Keep our feet nice and flat on the ground. Slight bend at the knee. Okay. Descend down. Up, try and keep that torso nice and upright. What we're trying to avoid is a couple of different things. First thing is my torso heading towards the ground. If I start doing this, okay, we need to look at what the issue is. The best way to do that, as I said at the start of the video, is from you sending us film so that we can assess what is going on. The other thing we want to avoid as well is we want to avoid, if you look from the front, okay, we want to avoid our knees tracking inside our feet like this as we come up, okay. Feet need to stay nice and flat on the ground. Now, you also don't want to drive your knees out to the point that you're coming up onto the outside of your feet. Feet nice and flat on the ground, slight bend at the knee, keep those knees tracking on top of our feet, down and up. From there, walk back in. Keep that bar on your back until it's safely back in the rack. So that's the back squat. So as I said, basis of that movement stays exactly the same from the stuff that we've been doing. Okay. Next movement we're going to do is a press. So it's a dumbbell press. For some of you, we may for a barbell press, sorry. For some of you, we still may program a dumbbell press, depending on what we see in the videos. Dumbbell press is easier for you to maintain that straight position over the center of your body, whereas a barbell, there's a little bit more room for error because you've got to negotiate basically your chin. So from there, again, hands wrapped around the bar. I'm going to take that bar, place it in that front rack position. Now personally, I'll coach that I want your elbow slightly in front of the bar. I'd also like to see that bar sitting nice and firmly on the shoulders. up into your throat. So from there, keep everything nice and tight. Okay, knees locked, hips straight, shoulders over our hips. From there, big breath in just to brace ourselves. Head back and press through, keeping that weight as close to the center of your body as you can. Returning to that nice position. Once you're done, walk back in, and knees come away. Alright, so that's barbell press. Most of you would have done it before. Biggest thing we want to avoid with the barbell press is horizontal movement. So we don't want to do this type of thing, okay? We need to keep that line as straight over our body as we can. The other thing we want to avoid is pressing out in front of ourselves, okay? Or doing too much of this, opening our shoulders up too much. I don't think that a lot of you are going to have that problem, but it's just something you need to be aware of. So keep that bar nice straight line from start to finish, finishing with the bar over the center of your body. Back squat, press. Okay, we're going to move on to step ups now. So with our step ups, we will generally program this for most of you with dumbbells because you're probably going to be using a commercial gym or something similar. There should be dumbbells there that will be heavy enough for you to basically progress on this, and it also means that there's not, I guess, that added risk of doing the movement with a barbell on your back. With a dumbbell, it makes it quite easy to get rid of the dumbbells should you lose your balance. So what we're looking for, you need a box or a step. You want your thigh to basically be parallel with the ground. Okay, so I've got a plate underneath my foot just to raise my body height up a bit. This is probably almost verging on the point of being a little bit too high for me. I don't want my hip to be below my knee. So if I come back to the ground, you can see that my knee is clearly above my hip. It's going to put too much pressure on my knees. So find something where it's that right size for you. Okay, from there, dumbbell in each hand, keeping our chest nice and upright. Okay, maintaining good posture while we do it. We're just going to drive through that front foot, come up, and then do not what I did, but try and bring that back foot through. So from here we're going to step up, bring that back foot through, pause at the top, come back through. So just a controlled movement. Bang. Okay. So things we want to avoid when we do that, we want to avoid, again, letting our chest come to the ground, so doing this sort of a thing. Okay? We also want to try and avoid, if we can, because we're working on balance, we're working on a little bit of stability through our hips there, letting our foot hit the box on the way up like I did on that first rep, so that was good. I can demonstrate what not to do on that first rep. So with that, you're going to be programmed. You may be programmed, 4 sets of 16, 3 sets of 12. That's the amount total, okay? So if you have 4 sets of 16, that means that it's 8 reps per leg. With this particular movement, I'm okay for you to do all 8 with our right leg, okay? And then change and do 8 with your left. If after your assessment or with your coach has identified that you have one side that is weaker than the other, please always lead with your weaker side. Your coach can explain more to you about that and why we require you to do that. That's the 3 movements that you need to know for this week. Back squat, press, step ups. That's going to make a pretty big part of your programming for the next couple of weeks. If you have any questions, email us or email your coach. We can answer you from there. Also, again, sorry to sound like a broken record, but if you can film yourself doing these movements, please send them back to us so we can make sure they're being done properly. Thank you very much. Good luck.